Hi, this is Megha, and I want to share very briefly about worry and stress and anxiety. I'm a certified life coach, so I'm a meta coach, and under the International Society of Neurosemantic, I'm a Hatha Yoga teacher, and my focus is on trauma informed yoga. So I'm a trauma informed yoga teacher also. And what I've seen in my own life and people that I work with, be it through coaching or yoga or circles that I host, or worry, stress, and anxiety being used interchangeably, being spoken about as if they were the same, but they are not the same, they are very different. So, very briefly, what I'm going to share today is identifying each of these different aspects, how we distinguish them, and then distinguishing mean that then we are able to bring about corrective, necessary, and appropriate measures, and then supporting ourselves accordingly. I do want to say, just bring about a few framings as I move ahead. Is I'm actually taking something very complex and niche and really deconstructing it and putting it down in simple language accessible to me and you and anyone who might watch this video. So take this into consideration. This is just the beginning. It's just a stepping point, a simplistic way to start getting curious and wanting to learn more. So do not stay limited by what I'm about to say and share. Go beyond that, learn, and beyond all, find how it sits for you in your body. So as you hear me speak, find what sits for you in your body, right? And before I move ahead, I'm going to invite you actually to take some time, a few minutes, or as long as you need, make a pause, full pause, or could be that later after the end of the video. Is what is your personal experience? When we speak about worry, stress, and anxiety, what is your personal experience? How do you live all of these three different aspects? How do you identify them? When you say you're stressed, what makes you say that you're stressed? When you say I'm anxious, I'm experiencing anxiety, what is it exactly that's telling you that this is what's happening for you? And the same thing for worry. When you say that I'm worried, so what is it that's making you say that you're worried? And when you're experiencing stress, worry, and anxiety, how do you do and be? Like, how do you do and be? What do you do exactly? Who are you? Right? Like, but most importantly, what do you do? Like, just pausing and gathering information for yourself through yourself. And I just want to say how we all use worry and anxiety interchangeably, abuse them interchangeably. And I'm going to say a little bit more now. So when we speak of stress, worry, and anxiety, I'm going to just look very briefly into three parts of the brain. There are many different parts of this beautiful brain ours, but really three main part, different prefrontal lobe, the limbic system, so the mid part, and then the brain stem back of your brain. So when we speak about stress, worry, and anxiety, like I said earlier, we tend to use them interchangeably. So some people might be saying, I'm worrying about my exam, which is coming up, and it's getting me really, really stressed, and I've been stressed about this. Now I'm very anxious. What will happen? Or someone can say, I'm very anxious that I'm about to go through this job interview, and I've been worrying a lot, and I'm so stressed that I can't sleep. Now I've just taken two examples, and then my question is, did you even understand what's happening? We do hear these words, like we do hear worry, anxiety, and stress, but what is it exactly that that person is saying? So this is what we're going to look into and try to distinguish and differentiate different action, right? So three part of the brain, prefrontal lobe, limbic system, and brain stem, and each part of the brain have very different and distinct function. The prefrontal lobe is connected. This is the thinking part of the brain. This is the thinking. So language, construction, abstraction, reasoning, rationalization. The limbic part is emotion, memories, habit, decision. And then the brain stem is about fight and flight and freeze. And it's on autopilot mode, which means that we can't do much, but we can use the prefrontal lobe and limbic system to take action. Most important, the prefrontal lobe to take action, right? So it's on autopilot mode. It runs on its own. And each of these part of the brain are connected to a state. So the prefrontal lobe is connected to the executive state. Executive state in the sense that I execute, I think, I use language, I'm going to construct, I'm going to reason. And then the emotional state, emotion, how we experience emotion, um, anxiety, how we experience worry, how we experience joy and happiness and sadness and love. So it's really the emotional state. Memory is very, very close in the brain here. And the brainstem is connected to the survival state. So survival, like really surviving. I'm normal living, I'm surviving, there is danger there. So what we will say is, and I'm gonna say more now, is the executive state is connected to worry. The emotional state is connected to anxiety, and the survival state is connected to stress. So let's begin from the bottom part first. Stress, survival state, brainstem, fight and flight, or freeze, or autopilot mode. This is all about danger and fear. So I've detected danger. This is a physiological response. So when somebody says they're stressed, I'm going to invite you. It's in your body. It's happening in your body. It's chemical. It's physiological. It's in your body. And stress is a very healthy response of the brainstem, of the nervous system. There's nothing wrong here. You're walking on a cliff and then a child is about to run off from the cliff and then you detect danger, you run away, you run towards that child and you pick that child, you grab that child back. This is stress, this is healthy stress, this is a performance. So your body moves you into a higher level, a different level of performance, and it's healthy, it's needed. Stress is a physiological response of your body. So what happens when you go into stress? Your heartbeat shifts, your breathing shifts, energy which would normally be used for the entire body now gets diverted. It might go more into your hands or legs. Digestion slows down because I don't need to digest food right now. I don't need to go into rest. I don't need to have deep breathing. I'm surviving. There is danger. So this is what stress is about. It's once again, I will say it's a physiological response. And worry is a thinking part of your system, our system, my brain. So when I'm worrying, it's really I'm thinking about. So worry is about thinking about the same thing over and over again, trying to find a solution. Why do I find a solution? How can I solve this? How can I shift this? How can I communicate otherwise with this person that I so love and the communication is not going through? What can I say different? How can I do different? How can I be different? So worry is about thinking the same thing over and over and over again. And anxiety, on the other hand, is about this forbearing sense that something bad is going to happen. Anxiety is about this sense that something really bad is going to happen. And most of us, we tend to mix up anxiety and intuition. So I'm going to put a link in the description box that takes you to one of the posts that I shared about differentiating between anxiety and intuition. But back to now here, worry, stress, and anxiety, all of them are useful. So worry is what really help us, what really put us human being in those places of rethinking and finding new ways and new perspective and different perception, and it has its share of healthy. Same for stress. It's about we detect danger. I detect danger. I detect a child's gonna get hurt. I detect I'm gonna cut my finger, so I draw my hand back. I'm on the road, I'm driving, and I'm kind of detect that I'm gonna knock somebody off, so I just slow down and I come really crashing, slow down. So that's the movement of it. And then anxiety is about something wrong's gonna happen. At the core of anxiety, what your system is trying to make you do is it's trying to keep you alert. Stay alert, what if something wrong is gonna happen? Stay alert, what if something bad is gonna happen? And when we say we reflect on worry, anxiety, and stress, each of these have one fundamental question. So when you look at worry, it's really about what can I learn from this? So if you are right now in a situation, now that I've said so much, and you can differentiate and identify between worry and anxiety and stress, it's really about what can I learn from this? What is there for me to learn from this? And anxiety is about, am I loved? So it's connected to your emotion. If you keep feeling something bad is going to happen, it's really pause and ask yourself this one question. Am I loved? Do I feel love in this situation? And then stress is about, am I safe? Because I've used that word danger and fear. So am I safe? These are the questions that actually go in very unconsciously. And you can start using them consciously just to track down, am I safe? Am I safe right here, right now? And when we look about stress, worry, and anxiety now, what we say is stress, worry, and anxiety. Anxiety is the intersection of worry and stress. So it's the intersection of the um, physiology and the thinking. It's really the intersection of the physiology and the thinking. So the physiological response is we're responding to fear, we're responding to detection of danger. And because of what I've detected outside, something is going to happen inside now, right? I'm going to go into stress mode. My internal energy will shift to not living but surviving. And it's here, it's instinctual, it's unconscious, and it serves a perfect function. It serves the most beautiful function in helping us escape real threat. So if you're in stress, it's about, if you detect that you're stressed, it's time to ask yourself this question. Is there a really threat, like danger out there? And stress isn't bad, but it becomes an illness when it's chronic. It becomes an illness when there's constantly tension in the body and I'm holding on to it. Anxiety is the intersection of these two reactions. Worry and stress is the thinking and the biological response, right? And anxiety is this foreboding like sense or dread that something bad is going to happen. Anxiety is not bad. What anxiety does, it actually helps us people to be watchful. So I'm going to be alert. I'm going to be watchful. And like, I'm just going to be watchful. Maybe I send that my child is not keeping well, or I send that my very good friend is not keeping well. So anxiety allows me to be watchful. But when it dominates, it can make it really, really hard for people to experience and feel joy and move ahead and feel happiness in life. So maybe just ask yourself one basic question: how hard it is on a scale of 0 to 10, how hard it is for you to experience joy and happiness, uh, appreciate a good laughter with someone, or just have appreciation for life. How hard it is for you to have appreciation, to experience joy and happiness in life. So learning to differentiate and identify worry and anxiety is important. It's going to help you come to support yourself with appropriate intervention and have the right support. And yeah, that's what I wanted to say very briefly. And I will say, whether you're experiencing worry and anxiety or stress, pushing away and saying, no, stop, I want this to stop, I want this to end, doesn't work. It does little good. It actually, what it does, pushing away what we experience will increase more of what we experience. So if you're experiencing anxiety, this foreboding sense of something bad is going to happen, and you keep pushing it away, there are high chances that it comes back to you in much more stronger intensity. It comes back intensely. So I will say reach out to support. Let there be no shame in being supported, in reaching out for support, and reach out for individualized support, because each person is different and each person's going to experience anxiety differently.